the economic freedom fighters here in this branch, at each one in Sunnyside. So, my view about this community, it's I can say it's a black community, large. It's a community that is equally trying to find itself. A community that when we preach one Africa, united Africans, the unity of Africa, I believe it should start here. It can practically start here. Why I'm saying that? I'm saying that for Sunnyside is maybe not the only place, but it's a place where you find all these people from all different countries in the whole Africa. You find them here. They are living together. Still divisions. People are grouping themselves in Zimbabwe. At that corner there, you know that most of the guys was sitting there as Zimbabweans. And this part of the corner here, most are Congolese, and that's their saloon and stuff. These people here are South Africans, they are homeless people who are staying here. So we try, because of even the rental issues here, because the rental is too high, so we end up staying together. We end up renting to a person who's coming from the other part of Africa. So what is left to us is just that we need to have leaders who can be able to read these dynamics and be able to unite Africans. Because I believe that the unity of Africa must be actually, we have to start saying something. And as a chairman, I took that responsibility. I'm on the ground. If I can't create that, I'm failing the EFF and community.
Wow. No, well said. And again, like you said, just pointing out the different varieties of again Africans here that come together in Sunnyside is again amazing. And to me, I see as an outsider, I see this as all peaceful. Even though there may be some disagreements here and there, everything seems peaceful. So focusing based on what you just said, what is your opinion of the entire nation? That may be a broad, question, but what is your opinion on the Republic of South Africa being that maybe I guess from a political standpoint or economic standpoint? How do you like to address it?
We still, let me say, the white minority, they still have the work on their side. Most of black people are not working. Most of black people are living in poverty. Some of them to an extent that they don't even have flushing toilets. We have people that are living in buildings that don't have electricity, water around this area in town. So, and those are black people. So, the economy is still in the hands of white people. Everything is white here. We have been subjected to businesses that come operate here from white companies. Like we have problems with metering. The municipality allowed the private metering, which are coming from white people, to come and meter water and electricity as a middleman. And the last person to get it is black people around here. So we are oppressed economically. We are not free, and it's still a struggle that we still have to fight after 30 years of democracy. It's very disappointing. We wish that the EFF one day can be in power and everything can change.
Now, so well said. So speaking of the EFF, um, to me, and you just kind of addressed this, as a student, as a researcher, as an outsider, we know since the fall of apartheid, I think there's been 6 government administrations, and then now we have the 7th one, with the GMU, where you have some of the political parties coming together, led by mostly again whites, thinking about the BA, thinking about other parties again that seem to be staring like a shadow hand. Um, what you mentioned you addressed this again for Sunnyside. How have the overall economic conditions changed for Black South Africans just since the fall of apartheid? Like again, is it more or less the same or did it get worse? Because I would say from an American standpoint, they preach about Obama, they preach about the integration that happened in the 60s. To me, as a Black American, even though we have more Black people educated, it's like for every person educated or for every business owner, 1,000 of us don't make it. So they're still doing this game where some of you, one of you will make it, and 1,000 will not make it. So again, I would say I was really in the apartheid, so I don't know. I can't say anything about that. What do you think now? I guess since that changed.
I think the system is still under the system of apartheid.
Mm.
And the ruling party, which is the ANC, they failed to crack that to make sure that the black people get that rights. They failed the black people. So the GNU is even worse. It
Mm.
shows to me it's a response from the ANC. It means that they've succumbed to these systems because now they are working with the enemy. How are you going to struggle going on while you're working with the enemy? Because it's very clear that the DA is the enemy of black people. They are fighting for white people. So I don't think things are going to get better. Things are getting worse. Here in Sunnyside, the only people who are feeling the pressure of this new government and everything are black people. It's our black Africans who are actually get arrested here for not having papers, for a lot of things, for selling on the street. Black, white men, they are not opposed to those things because they are rich. Black poor people, when they try to do anything, everything, police come and arrest them. But you can never see that with a black person. I'm just saying, you're coming from America, you know about Europe. I think in Europe, when they are looking for foreigners, they will be targeting black people.
Right.
But here in South Africa, when police are looking for foreigners, they're actually looking for fellow black people. And that's very surprising. White people are here, they will never get service. You can drive around without driving license. Once you're white, you can be able to do that in the street. Yeah,
So it's like apartheid, but without the name.
yeah.
It's like you said, it's the
This,
same.
yeah, the system is the same. You only gain the freedom of speech.
Ah man. So two more big things I would say. So with that being said, how is again using my American mind, Black American, so I'm still coming from a struggle and oppressed and marginalized perception. But what would you call the middle class in South Africa? How does that look? Because to me, it's like they like to make it seem like, oh, if you're middle class, then you're wealthy or you're this or you can go this. But we know so many people struggle just to go to school. They go to school, they can't get their fees, or again, they have to have multiple jobs to do different things. So to me, again, um, if I don't even like the class, idea. Like I wish it could just be one, class, but it's like it's hierarchy to me. So again, like is it are the majority of Black South Africans middle class, or the majority of South Africans, I guess, under, or what would be how would you, I guess, classify the majority of South Africans? Because I don't, they always want to throw the poor word on us. They want to say the word this, they want to say that, but I want us to give us our own name. But how do we describe ourselves? Because I see us as spiritual, I see us as powerful, I see us as leaders, I see us on the world front, on the national front, and the historical front. So how do y'all think, the middle class works?
You see, I think if you ask that question to anyone, they will think that in South Africa, in middle class, most means that you've got work, you're working in government. But in reality, you are still one of the poorest because people who are working in South Africa, some of them they can't even afford to buy a house, but they're working in government, they've got their positions in government. So to them, they are recognized as middle class. But to me, when I'm looking at it, they're just like the blue. That's why I say it will be wrong for me to say middle class is these people who are working because even people who are working in government in this shop, people are working for a very small amount of money. They can't survive. They can't survive. It's only a few who are surviving, which are politicians and higher positions.
Right, right. So, and then the last question I would have is,
Yeah.
so to, again, as an outsider, I'm gonna say it the way I wrote it.
Yeah.
Since the fall of apartheid, the global economy and the developed nations have had advances in technology, communications, business, commerce, politics, healthcare. A lot of that is due to South Africa, right? And South Africa has already changed the world. Many of these changes, again, happen here and they led around the world. So, what are your thoughts on the overall global economy's dependence on South Africa? You can answer that as Africa in general, or particularly South Africa. And the last thing I would say, I don't have it here, but when we have simple dumb stuff happening, like with the Trump stuff now, to where he wants to do a squeeze with the tariff, or he wants to suspend or get rid of the ambassador. To me, um, Trump is America is again like they have a game to where they're gonna do the same thing anyway, but they want to have a bad guy. So they need Trump to be the bad guy, so then the Democrats will say that they're doing the right thing. But the Democrats are also equally racist as Trump. They just don't use the same words. So and that goes, I'll say even Malcolm X saying that, drawing a parallel between South Africa and America. Malcolm X once said South Africa practices the racism that it preaches, right? Well, in America lies and says that it's integration or we don't have racism, but we do racism. So South Africa is honest, but then America is lying, saying that there's no racism. But both countries have this heightened racism. So again, going back to South Africa's role, how do you think that the world has been either impacted or how important is South Africa to you?
This is the history of colonizers has been impacted. I think, and to change this, we need African leaders to unite because by nature, Africa is very wealthy. You go to Congo, you find diamonds, you find everything. So we can be able to sustain economically. But because there are countries that come and take our raw materials, go and wash it in their country, bring it as a final product, become expensive here. That is what is killing us. So overall, African leaders need to unite. The unity, like I said, the unity must start here with us as ordinary people. We must start loving each other. We must stop this thing of this person because he's coming from Zimbabwe, it means that's not my brother. As long as your skin is black, let us unite and we can fight this. Because we need to be independent. We can always depend on former colonizers. Their intention is always to make sure that we are oppressed. That is never changing. So that is my tip.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna stop the recording.